From the McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota, good evening everybody, I'm Jed Thomas alongside my partner Max Bush as we get set for North Dakota High School boys basketball action as the Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Grand Forks Central Knights. Well folks, tonight should be a great conference showdown featuring these two teams on opposite ends of the standings. We got a lot of storylines coming into tonight we'll tell you more about, but first we're going to step away for a brief word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere, high school basketball action is next after this quick break.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, KRAFT Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, Ed's Marine and Storage, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Kochman Brothers Homes, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, SANFORD Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, SCHEELS, and TCI Insurance.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School boys basketball action. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Max Bush. And Max, before we went to break here, I said we're looking at two teams kind of on opposite sides of the standings, in different positions coming into tonight's game. Can you break that down a little bit more for us? Give us some background here.
Well, Jed, to start it all off, this is a 2-point game as these teams will not play the rest of the season, so it will count as either 2 wins or 2 losses for whoever comes out on top, obviously. So for the Deacons, that could be very good, bringing them to a solid 9-3, putting them somewhere up in the top 3 of the standings of the EDC. And then, but for the Central Knights, they're obviously 1-9, but that could turn their season around, bring them to 3-9, kind of jumpstart something. Obviously, they haven't had maybe the season they wanted, but they're taking on a tough Shanley team that obviously I said is going to be tough to play. They've got an electric offense and just a lockdown defense that is really tough to get by.
Absolutely, Max. It's a perfect breakdown where these two teams are at. Obviously, opposite sides of the standings, kind of opposite storylines coming into tonight. But like you said, it's a 2-point game. It's a conference game. Anything can happen. There's a lot riding on this game. For a regular season matchup, it's got a lot on it. And so both teams desperately want this win. Shanley trying to move their way up towards the top of the standings. They're kind of on the outside looking in right now, more towards the middle of the pack. This could really vault them forward in those EDC standings. GFC, meanwhile, towards the bottom. I believe Valley City, they did beat Valley City, so they're below them. But if they could pick up the win here in a 2-point game, that could really help them out going forward.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
A lot riding on this game. We're just a couple seconds away from the tip, and with that, we're underway as Devin Johnson will win that one back to Jacob Onstad, and Onstad's going to bring this one up to start things off. Onstad working against Cam Seville. He'll hand off to Johnson on the near side. Johnson going to go out top to Granger, and now Granger over in the corner finds DeMuth. DeMuth out over to Johnson. He launches a 3 that's off the rim, no good, and the rebound grabbed by Malish. Cam Seville up the near side, cuts in through the paint. Tried to go, not quite sure what he tried to do there, but he was able to draw the foul, and so they'll take that. Good start there for Cam Seville in the Deacon offense.
Yeah, Jed, that's one thing that Cam Seville has been really good at this year is drawing fouls. I can't tell you the number of times he's been at the free throw line this year. It is just countless.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really improved his game in the paint. He's worked a lot more in there as opposed to previous years, and that's led to those opportunities at the line. First attempt, no good there for Seville. Try to make it 1 for 2 on this attempt. And he will, so the first points of the game. Free throw for Seville makes it 1-0 Deacons. Onstad with the little bounce pass goes over to DeLorme. Now over to Granger. Granger looking, has Seville all over him, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson now surveys, had a man open, and then that pass looked to be a miscommunication that time. Had 2 guys crossing and tried to find one of them, instead ended up putting it out of bounds. Timian now will bring it up for Shanley. Timian gives over to McKeever. McKeever looks inside, nothing there, tries to find a man on the perimeter, and he gives over to Malish. Malish now to Timian on the far side. Timian going to go out top to Cava. Cava launches a three that's too strong off the back of the rim. Still 1-0 here with 16:57 left to go. And, folks, we do apologize. We do not have a clock for you right now. Sorry for that technical difficulty. And a big three there for GFC. It makes it 3-1. That's Delorme who drains it. Grand Forks Central's first points of the evening. Malish goes over to Seville, who goes to Timian, right over to Cava. Some quick passing here for the Deacons. Let's see if they can get some points out of it. Cam Seville cutting in, gives over to Timian. Timian out over to McKeever, now to Seville in the corner. Seville wheels around, driving inside, kicks it out to Timian. Wide open three, too strong. Rebound pulled down, though, by McKeever. Did not connect, so the shot clock did not reset. Won't matter, though, as Seville was stripped underneath the hoop by Delorme. He hit the three, and now he's made the play on defense. Johnson over to Onstad. Onstad wanted to go back to Johnson. Now he's caught in the double team, and that pass not going anywhere. It was taken by Seville, but I think a timeout was actually called before that pass went off, so GFC fortunate there to get that timeout called.
Yeah, Jed, I think already in this game we've seen Shanley's defense. They're very good at getting those traps along the sideline and up in the front court here, just trap them before half court. So that's one thing that Grand Forks is going to have to move around. But also on Grand Forks' side for their offense, obviously we saw Delorme hit that nice three, so I think Shanley might have gotten caught off guard a little bit there. And he made that nice three, and now they have the lead, so quite early in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. That's a great way to put it, caught off guard. I don't think Shanley was really expecting them to hit that three. You know, they hadn't done much on offense. All of a sudden, Branson Delorme there just lets one go. And, yeah, now GFC got a little bit of momentum. They were in a bit of a pickle here with the Shanley defense. We'll see if the timeout can get him out of it. DeMuth to inbound. Looking, goes over to Onstad. Onstad with Timian on him, wheeling around along the half-court line, throws over to Johnson. Johnson kicks over to Delorme, over to DeMuth. His shot for three, in and out. Rebound had for a minute by Granger, but it's ultimately Seville who comes away with it. Seville over to Cava, throws one back over to Seville, thought about the three, still has it, moving inside, spin move in the paint. And now whistle and a foul. Foul goes against Delorme, his first and the second for the Knights. Jake Cavan out to inbound. Gives over to Seville. Seville lost it, though. Delorme pried it away, and now Johnson's on top of it. Branson Delorme continues to be a problem here. Real thorn in the side for Shanley right now. GFC looking to capitalize on that turnover. Granger working against Seville. Three Deacons on him there, able to draw the foul.
Yeah, Jed Delorme here early has had 2 steals now and that three-pointer. He is quite the playmaker that I don't know anybody really expected, but yeah, good for him.
Yeah, Delorme really has come out here. A great start to the game, fast start. Like you said, 2 steals, a three-pointer. He's been doing everything for him. I mean, quite literally, he's got all 3 of their points.
He does.
And yeah, like you said, maybe a bit unexpected. You know, the 5'9" senior guard, you know, has played a lot of minutes for him this season, but really a great start for them and just for Grand Forks in general here in this game. Granger's second attempt is in and out, so a tough break for the Knights, unable to get any points out of that trip to the line. Cava now is going to bring it forward for Shanley. He goes over to Seville in the near corner, and a whistle and a foul against the Knights. So both teams really starting to trade fouls now.
Yeah, Jed, that's, as I said, that's Cam Seville's 3rd drawn foul already. So, like I said, he's pretty good at that. And Delorme will have to check out with his 2nd foul of the night. So
yeah, you weren't kidding. Cam Seville just draws them all day. I mean, we've seen it all season, and like you said, in this game, he's just making guys foul him, and that's kind of what happens when you got a 6'5" guard. I mean, you know, how do you combat that size and that athleticism?
Yeah, and just as we were saying that, Jake Cava draws a foul underneath. He's also been quite good at that and very good from the line this year.
Yeah.
Upwards of 80%, I believe, but yeah, he's been quite good from the line.
No, yeah, Max, he's been outstanding. I mean, one of the best in the state. It just seems like he can't miss when he gets there. And of course, as I say that.
Broadcasting jinx there.
Yeah, I mean, I should have seen that come. My apologies. That miss really isn't on Jake. That's more on me. Second one, though, is good. Okay. So
there we go. We're all good now.
Yeah, broke that. So that makes it 3-2 now, still in favor of Grand Forks Central. Both of Shanley's points have come at the free throw line, 2 separate trips. Onstad has the ball now for the Knights. A little bounce pass. Finds DeMuth on the near side. He goes back to Onstad, trying to split 2 defenders. Awkward pass found its way to Granger. Ball kicked out to DeMuth, who fired the 3 that was no good. And that ball goes out of bounds. They will say last touched by the Knights. .14:40 left to go in the first half. Mason Timian with the ball for Shanley. Gives over to Cava. Cava hands it off to Seville, who kicks it out to Malish. Now over to McKeever in the corner. McKeever for 3. It's short off the rim, and the rebound pulled down by Johnson. Devin Johnson throws that one over to Onstad. Onstad had his shot contested by Seville at the last minute, was unable to hit that 3. Now Jake Cava moving it up the far side. Cava cuts in, throws it out. McKeever to Timian to Seville in the corner. Cam Seville moves in, finds a double team, so he gives off to Timian, whose 3 is in and out, no good. And the rebound last touched by Cava.
Yeah, Jed, it just seems like the Shanley offense can't really get cooking here. They've been really good from long-range three-pointers this year, and it just hasn't really started yet.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slump for this team, really. I mean, Jake Cava's had a lot of trouble from beyond the line, very uncharacteristic of him, but this whole team really has struggled in their three-point game. And like you said, that's just not like them.
Yeah, I think they'll get it going here. They always do, so we won't have anything to worry about. It'll be a high-scoring game before we know it.
I think that's a fair prediction there, Max. Timian with it now for Shanley. 13:45 left in the first half. He gives over to Cava. Cava pulls up for the long 2, and that's in and out. No good. DeMuth grabbed the rebound. Onstad is bringing it forward now. Onstad over to Johnson. Now over to DeMuth in the corner. DeMuth gets it to Granger. Granger driving in, lost control. And it's Shanley ball.
Checking in for the Deacons, number 5, Talon Hoffer, number 15, Tom Erie.
Hoffer and Erie now check in for Shanley. Some of the first guys off the bench for the Deacons. As Hoffer gives this ball over to Cava. Cava now to Seville on the near side. Cam Seville cuts in, nowhere to go. Now over to Cava and out top to Malish. Malish over to Hoffer for 3. No good off the rim, but the rebound pulled down by Malish and given to Seville outside. Seville now over to Erie and to Malish in the corner. Cody Malish looking for 3, and he drains it. And that opens up the scoring here for Shanley. Outside of free throws, those are their first points of the game. So 5-3, Shanley's first lead of the evening, and just like that, though, a foul will be called against Cody Malish. 12:47 remaining in the first half. Johnson launches a quick 3 off the inbound, no good. Rebound pulled down by Onstad. Onstad looking for someone to give it off to, but he loses control, and it's picked up by Erie, who gave over to Malish. Malish now to Cava, had that one tipped. Cava still able to bring it in. Driving inside, Jake Cava for 2. He gets it. So now 7-3 in favor of the Deacons. Onstad with the double team in his face. Heaves that one over to DeMuth. DeMuth now looking. He gives over to Onstad, and now Onstad will bring it over the half-court line. And he is fouled. Tom Erie picks up his first, and that is Shanley's third of the evening. 12 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the first half. Chris DeMuth inbounding. DeMuth gives that one over to Onstad. Onstad up against Erie. He brings it across half court. Looking now, a little bounce pass, finds Thompson. Thompson in the corner to DeMuth. DeMuth tried to find Thompson, but it was intercepted by Erie. Hoffer driving forward to Seville, and the easy 2. Cam Seville left undefended in the paint. And with that, we've got a timeout called by Grand Forks Central, and I think that is a wise use of a timeout there, Max.
I agree, Jed. Like we said, the Shanley defense finally got on a roll after that surge of offense there. 7 quick points by them, kind of started by that fast break that they love to run, so Cam Seville obviously getting out in transition. Jake Cava getting out in transition like they love to do. Some nice passing there between the Deacons. And I think that Grand Forks Central just really needs to kind of sit back, relax a little bit. They kind of got on their heels after that Shanley offense. So I think they just need to kind of sit back, relax, play their defense, and, I think they'll be fine.
Absolutely, Max. Shanley just starting to get into their groove. GFC, like you said, just calling this time out, trying to calm things down. I mean, they were leading for a large portion of this game. They're looking good on defense, had a couple of steals. I think the big key for them right now is to get Branson DeLorme back in the game. He went to the bench after picking up 2 fouls. I think you got to put him back in right now because he's been the spark plug for your team all night. Why not get him back in there, see what he can do?
I agree, and I also think you need to get number 14, Devin Johnson, some shots. He's been a very key player to their offense this year, so they need to do something to kind of get him in his groove.
Yeah, for sure, and just like that, look at the man inbounding the ball. It's Branson DeLorme. So DeLorme inbounds to Onstad. Onstad in trouble right off the bat, but he's able to get it back over to DeLorme, who shows off some nice handles, although he does lose that ball, if only temporarily. Fought for it with Seville and was able to draw a foul against Cam Seville. And that is Seville's second of the evening.
Yeah, and it looks like Cam Seville will check out and Braden Bars will check in. He's been a key player off the bench for the Deacons this year, kind of a surprise coming off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Bars, a junior, looking at his first time on the varsity team. Like you said, kind of a bit of a surprise, with some of the minutes he's played, but he's definitely earned them in the way he's played.
Right, he's a very hard worker. He works hard on there, and he earns his time for sure.
Yeah, so not much of a surprise now that we've seen him play, but no, like you said, not a name a lot of people were expecting, but that's really good to see for Shanley that they've got some juniors and sophomores, guys like Talon Hoffer playing because they really need some of that youth for the next few years. As DeLorme makes another fantastic play and picks up 2 here for the Knights. As I was saying, though, very senior-heavy lineup for Shanley.
Right. So they need some younger players to kind of step up this year so that they can have a year next year,
Absolutely, Max. Got to get that experience for the guys who are returning. Cody Malish with another 3 from that same spot where he hit one earlier. That one unable to convert. And that ball goes out of bounds. The last touch by the Deacons. 9-5 the score, and folks, we do have a clock up and running for you. Sorry that we did not have that right away, but we are glad we got that for you now. And we got a whistle here as Devin Johnson will check in. Chris DeMuth will take a seat. Johnson tosses that one over to Onstead. Onstead moving up the near side, works his way right into a double team. Now he's in trouble. Hoffer gets his hands in there, trying to get it off Hoffer's legs and out of bounds. Onstead able to do that, and that's what you got to do in that situation. Can't really go anywhere else with it.
Yeah, like I was saying, Jed, the Shanley defense and their traps in the corner, trapping them right at half court so they can't go back. It's tough to get through, and you can kind of get caught in a little sticky situation there.
Carson Thompson inbounding, gets it over to DeLorme. DeLorme launches a 3, had to hurry it, and it's a little too long off the back of the rim. Jake Cava bringing it down now. He tosses over to Joe Cava, out to Braden Bars up top. Bars has his shot tipped, or excuse me, his pass tipped rather, but it still finds its way over to Jake Cava. Bars now over to Hoffer. Hoffer back out to Bars. Bars to Cava. Jake Cava for 3 off the rim. Rebound pulled down by Erie. Erie off the board looking for 2. That looked like a sure thing, but it bounces out the last second. Devin Johnson now bringing it forward. He runs into Bars, finds his way through, heaves one across, able to track down Thompson with that pass. Thompson trying to get it back to Onstad, but Erie got there first. Erie moving in, trying to do it alone, but had it swatted out of bounds by DeLorme. No surprise there. Branson DeLorme continues to be a troublemaker.
Yeah, great hustle play by DeLorme back there to kind of stop the almost easy layup for Tom Erie there.
Bars inbounds to Erie. Erie cuts inside, finds 3 Knights right there, so he had to heave it out to Cava at the top of the key. Cava over to Hoffer. Hoffer maybe thinking about the shot. Instead, he'll go back over to Cava. Cava over to Bars. Bars moving in, looking for 2. No good. Swatted and rebound grabbed by Johnson. Devin Johnson goes over to Jacob Onstad. Onstad trying to find Granger there. Tried to thread the needle, but had that one intercepted, and the Deacons come right back down. Jake Cava moving along, throws that one out to Hoffer. Hoffer moving inside along the baseline, nothing there. Trying to get out to Erie, but it's poked away by guess who? Branson DeLorme.
It seems like Branson DeLorme is just everywhere, Jed. He can't seem to stop saying his name.
Yeah, seriously, Max. I mean, just an unbelievable motor on that guy. I mean, he's all over the court, and he does not look tired at all. Erie with the rapid-fire pass inside to Cava, who couldn't complete the shot but was fouled. And Erie, that ball barely spent any time in his hands, just immediately fired it over to Cava. Caught the GFC defense off guard.
Yep, and as I was saying, Jed, Jake Cava at the line again. Him and Cam Seville are taking countless trips to the line this year and both converting in quite good numbers. And as I say that, again,
yeah, boy,
I apologize, Jake. That was my fault.
Yeah, we're just sorry to the whole Shanley fan base. We're just really making it hard for you here. We'll try not to say anything like that again.
We won't talk about free throws anymore tonight.
Just change topic. All right, well, we'll see what they can do now, not at the line, as Cava going to pick up another foul here, so he won't get another trip to the
I think
line.
they're just saying the ball was swatted out of bounds off of the Knights, maybe.
Yeah, you are right, Max. No foul out of that one. So Erie off the inbound, gives over to Cava, kicks back out to Erie. Erie with the open look for three off the rim. Rebound pulled down by Joe Cava. Bars with it now, and he lost a handle on it. Ends up out of bounds, so that's unfortunate for the Deacons. They were in the GFC zone for a long time.
Yeah, the two quick offensive rebounds for the Deacons. They're a good hustle, but couldn't convert on any of the shots that they had.
Yeah, that's tough, especially with that trip to the line. They're just not getting anything out of a long time in the zone. GFC, though, breathing a sigh of relief. They're very fortunate to not have any points come away with that for Shanley. Trying to get some points of their own here as Thompson launches that three. No good. Erie comes up with it. And now Tom Erie bringing it forward for the Deacons. Erie over to Bars. Now into Joe Cava. Joe Cava out to Jake Cava. Wide open lane.
Little brother-brother connection there for the two Cava brothers.
They've been impressive as the season has gone on. Joe Cava getting more and more minutes. And like you said, his connection with Jake Cava has been undeniable.
Right. They obviously they grew up together. But, yeah, Joe Cava's been getting some great minutes off the bench. He's been a key role player for them this year. He had double figures against South, I believe, this year. So that was a good game for him.
Absolutely. And another younger guy, just a sophomore, one of those guys they're really going to need to step up next season.
Right, yeah, he is going to be called upon quite a bit next season to make some plays.
Onstad with it for Central. Erie right there on him, able to work his way out of there. Got it over to Johnson, but Johnson lost it out of bounds. So Mason Timian will bring it forward now for Shanley. He gives over to Cava, over to Joe Cava, out of Timian. Tim McKeever at the top of the key, inside to Joe Cava. He was looking for Jake Cava, finds him, thought about the three, moves inside, tosses it out to Timian. Open three, short off the rim, and Johnson will throw it up court, finds Thompson. Thompson moving in, tried to hand that one off, sort of over to Blackstone. That didn't work for him, though. Timian, high pass over for Cava. Jake Cava for three, and he drains it.
Yeah, nice step-back move for Jake Cava there to get behind the three-point line to get that extra point.
And that's good to see for him. Maybe can boost the confidence there. Like we said, hasn't had a great go of it at the three-point line the last few games. Has had some trouble shooting this evening at the free throw line, usually where he's money. And so that's good for his confidence, and a steal there, also good for him. Joe Cava with the ball. Bounce pass over to Jake Cava, who throws over to Erie. Erie directing traffic, goes back to Cava. Cava inside to McKeever. McKeever right back to Erie for three from the top of the key. Off the rim, no good. A rebound pulled down by Johnson. Johnson throws one up, long pass. Onstad pull-up jumper for two, and he gets it. So 14-7. Now the score. Timian brings the ball forward for Shanley. Gives over to Erie, who gives to Cava. Jake Cava gets the screen, looking for three off the rim. Rebound grab by DeLorme, and now he'll bring it forward for the Knights. DeLorme matched up with Erie. Good job getting away. Goes over in the corner to Onstad. Onstad for three off the rim, no good. Thompson got the rebound, looking for Johnson on the pass, but it goes out of bounds. 6:26 remaining. It's a 14-7 lead for the Deacons.
You know, Jed, lately I've noticed that the Central Knights have kind of been running out in transition a little bit. That might have been what their coach was talking about in that timeout, run out in transition, try to get some easy buckets. And, I mean, they've gotten a couple points out of it, so we should look for that in the rest of the game, see if that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, good catch there, Max. Absolutely. We've seen a lot more of that from them as the game has gone on. I think you're totally right. I think that's been a coaching adjustment made. And look at this, a steal for him. On that one, it's Chris DeMuth, who just checked back into the game, so a good welcome back present there for him. And now DeLorme fires the three off the rim. A rebound grab by Timian, who gives it over to McKeever. McKeever up to Cava. Deacons trying to push the pace here a bit as Cava throws up a two that's no good. Rebound fought for. Timian comes away with it. Over to McKeever. McKeever now to Erie. Erie bounce pass into Joe Cava. Joe Cava looking for Jake maybe, but the double team right there. Erie got it, matched up with DeMuth, and now a whistle and a foul. We'll go against DeMuth.
Yeah, one more foul on the Central Knights, and the Deacons will be in the one-on-one bonus, Jed, so that is one thing to look for. They'll be shooting free throws the rest of the half.
For sure, GFC had a little bit of foul trouble early, really did a good job reining it in, but that one right there, like you said, gets them close to putting Shanley in the bonus. Malish out top, over to McKeever. McKeever over to Timian, who goes back to McKeever. Quick inside look for Malish was tipped and stolen, and now with it is Johnson. Devin Johnson on the near side. Knights cycling this ball well. The double team now really working against Lorenz, who was able to get it over to Johnson. Johnson now in the corner, found DeLorme, goes back out top to Lorenz. Lorenz cutting inside, working in the paint, kicks it over to DeLorme, who drains the three, and Branson DeLorme continues to have an excellent night. Seville with DeLorme on him, able to work his way out of there and draw the foul.
Yeah, Jed, Branson DeLorme looks like he has, I think, 8 points already, 2 threes, and a nice layup there. So he's having quite the night, the senior guard. So he's definitely a guy to look for.
Yeah, I mean, he just has not slowed down at all. You know, a fast start. Sat for a while because I think he picked up 2 fouls.
Yeah,
so.
And just as you say that, I think he just picked up his third. So he is checked out of the game, which may not be a great thing for the Knights, as he's been kind of a spark in their offense.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. I mean, you know, he's been great when he's been on the court, but that has kind of been his issue, availability.
Right.
You know, when you pick up those fouls there, you are kind of making yourself, like I said, not so available for your team there.
Yep.
So tough to blame, though, because, you know, the way he's playing, you'd be expected to pick up some fouls. He's being physical. He's pushing the pace. So there's some give and take there. You know, you got to take the good with the bad.
Right.
And that pass, bounce pass intended for Lorenz. They'll say it just caught the line there out of bounds. So now it'll be Deacon ball, up 14-10 with 4:53 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, Talon Hoffer checks back in for the Deacons, the sophomore guard. So he's another young player to watch, excuse me.
Shanley been changing personnel up here quite a bit in this game. They seem to be looking for the right combination. It's kind of been the story of their season, looking for the right starting five, and they still just don't seem to have that core group yet that they really like to roll with. And games like this where you try those different combinations are really kind of key for figuring out who's got the best on-court chemistry. Knights possessing now in the Deacon zone. Cycling the ball around. Lorenz with it. Over to Onstad. Onstad hands this one off to Johnson. Johnson matched up with Malish. Moving along the perimeter, lost it off his foot. Lorenz battling for it, but has it taken away by Timian. Timian floats one over to Seville. Seville inside for 2. Won't get the shot, but he is fouled.
Yep, Jed, Cam Seville drawing another foul. Well, it's repetition, basically.
Yeah, I mean, not much more you can say. He
Sound
does
like a
work
broken
in the
record.
paint. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth, though. You know, he works in the paint, and when you work like that, when you're, you know, determined and when you just keep grinding there in the paint, you're going to draw those fouls. And like I said, it's a facet of Cam Seville's game I don't think we've really seen up until this season, but it's really impressive the way he's taken that and not just added it to his game, but really kind of incorporated it as a major part of it.
Right. Well, he's 6'4" and probably upwards of 200 pounds, so he's a big guy, and he can really move. He's got great ball handling, so it's good that he's kind of getting low in the blocks and working for some free throws.
For sure. Onstad has it on the near side, matched up with Malish. Malish runs into a screen as Onstad hands it off to Johnson, whose 3 is no good off the rim, but the rebound pulled down by DeMuth. DeMuth for three, no good. Rebound fought for, out of bounds. Last touched by Shanley, I believe.
Yeah, I think they say that went off the fingertips of Cam Seville there, so Grand Forks will have an inbound under their own basket.
Knights trail by 6. Johnson has it. Gets some separation, goes up for two, and converts. 3:27 left now on the clock. Jake Cava has it, tossing over to Timian. Timian bounce pass to Seville. Thought about the three, instead he'll give back to Timian. Now over to Malish. Malish looking now over to Hoffer. Hoffer, top of the key to Malish, over to Timian for three, off the rim, no good. Lorenz on the rebound. He hands off to Johnson, and now Johnson will bring it forward for the Knights. Devin Johnson gives over to Onstead. Onstead working against Hoffer. Whistle and a foul will go against the Knights. They'll get Onstead.
Falls on number 10, Jackson Lorenz.
Or excuse me, Lorenz.
First personal.
That's Lorenz first, but that's number 9 for GFC. It was an offensive foul, though, so Shanley will not go to the line. Seville over to Hoffer, gets the screen, cuts inside, pulls up for two off the rim, and the rebound pulled down, but only temporarily by the Knights as Seville gets to it, looks for two, no good, pokes it forward, and finally it is the Knights who come away with it. With it now is Onstad, matched up with Timian. He gives over to Lorenz. Lorenz gets the screen. Gives over to Onstad. Onstad wheeling in, lost control of it down low. It's picked up off the ground by Malish. Malish tosses it over to Hoffer. Hoffer slows things down. Gives over to Timian, who gave inside to Cava. Cava almost had it poked away. Now Seville has it, though, on the outside. Timian for three, wide open, no good. Rebound battled for, and it's taken by Onstad. Onstad in trouble, got it through the legs of Timian, and somehow Blackstone came away with it. Excellent awareness there by Blackstone. Now the Knights have a bit of momentum as Johnson pulls up for three. That's off the front of the rim, no good. Seville there to get the rebound, poked away by Blackstone, but only momentarily. It's a 4-point lead for Shanley as Cam Seville crosses half court with 1:36 on the clock. Cava pulls up for two from the free throw line. He goes down and the shot won't connect. Onstad has it, in trouble for a minute, but he came away with it. Beautiful bounce pass to Johnson, who buries the two, and now it's 16-14 in favor of the Deacons, and a timeout taken by Shanley.
Probably a good timeout, like you said earlier, Jed. Kind of stopped the momentum of those Grand Forks Central Knights. They really kind of got off the ball there and scored some quick points. I think they scored 7 points with maybe 2 for Shanley, so a 7-2 run. And I think Coach Burns is definitely just trying to slow the tempo down, kind of play a little slower maybe, because it's been really high, fast pace and really like quick up and down the floor. So I think he just wants to calm everyone down and probably just let them be a little bit almost.
Yeah, Max, you know, there was a point in the middle of this first half where it looked like Shanley was going to start to pull away. They really looked like they were finding their form. They were connecting on their shots. And all of a sudden, Grand Forks Central, I don't want to say roaring back. They've kind of chipped away at the Deacons here, and they've slowly built their way back. Now the last few minutes, you look up at the scoreboard, and you're like, oh, wait, it's a 2-point game. So GFC has done a great job of sticking around here, and not just sticking around, but really pushing the pace of this game.
Yeah, for sure, Jed.
I mean, they've almost got it tied up. Seville at the top of the key, moves inside, gives over to Cava. Cava fires for three, and that's no good. Rebound pulled down by Blackstone and then given off over to Onstad. If I'm GFC here, I think I just want to burn as much clock as I can. You want to keep things close headed into halftime. That's one thing the Deacons do like to do. They go on these late runs towards the end of the first half and build up a nice lead before half. And now look at this. Cody Malish had a foot out of bounds as he was trying to grab that rebound. He and Hoffer kind of going back and forth with it. Not sure who had it. And Malish stepped out there. Onstad inbounding. Finds Lorenz. Lorenz working against Cava. Throws over to Onstad at the top of the key. Onstad cuts inside. Cava in his face. Nowhere to go with it. Trying to find a man. He's got Johnson. Johnson on the far side. Working against Malish. Moving in. Looking for two. He gets it. And now it's a tie game. The shot clock is off, so the Deacons can have the final shot of this first half if they want. Again, folks, 16-16 now our score. Timian over to Seville. Back to Timian. Deacons appear to be content just to take the final shot of this first half. Seville gave back to Timian here, letting some clock burn. He goes over to Hoffer, who goes back out to Seville. Seville trying to get some separation, moving inside. He gets 2 and the foul. So about perfect there for the Deacons. Just 4 seconds left. They are able to get 2 points plus a foul. That's definitely the way you want to end this first half.
Yeah, that was great of Cam Seville to kind of use his body to get in there and then just make the easy layup and the foul. And he connects on the free throw, so we have a 3-point game.
Definitely they're trying to draw the foul. Obviously wanted the points too, but you know he had that foul on his mind. Couple seconds left for one last shot. Johnson pulls up, and it's short. So that's how the first half will end. 19-16 in favor of the Deacons. But, boy, Max, I think that score does surprise a lot of people. Both, just the score in general, but also how low it is.
Right.
I think a lot of people expected a higher scoring game.
Yeah, well, I apologize, folks. I said in the beginning that I was kind of expecting a high-scoring affair, and we don't even have anybody in the 20-point range yet. So it's just obviously been a game of defenses and kind of two teams that can't really find their groove with their shots. Obviously, Shanley hasn't made barely any three-pointers, which has kind of been their bread and butter for the season. So I think they'll try to kind of talk about that in the locker room, try to get some better shots. And then for the Knights, I think they really need to just run in transition like they were at the end of that half and make some quick, easy points. So.
Yeah, seemed to be where they were playing their best basketball. I couldn't agree more with you, Max. Got to be honest, we've just been wrong on a lot of our predictions here tonight.
It's kind of the jinx of the broadcaster like it's been most of the season.
So, close game going on. It's been a fun one to watch. Folks, just 3 points separate these two teams. We're going to take a brief break here, but don't go anywhere. We're going to have a good finish coming up for you in just a few minutes. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School boys basketball action. I'm Jed Thomas alongside of Max Bush as we're getting ready for the second half of action here between the Shanley Deacons and the Grand Forks Central Knights. But before we get back to it, we do want to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. And so, folks, as we begin the second half, Shanley off to a fast start. Here's some quick passing, but no points come of it. And so here comes GFC looking to potentially tie things up here, down 19-16. It was a tie game towards the end of the first half, but a three-point play from Cam Seville, 2 points and a foul where he drained the free throw, gave the Deacons a three-point lead right before the end of the first half. And now a whistle here. And a foul going against Shanley. Well, Max, I'm not sure
I
what
think it was
happened
a jump ball as Timian and Cava tied up Devin Johnson there.
So Johnson gets the ball on the inbound here, a jump ball rotating possession. That's why GFC does have it. And so Onstad will drive in, kicks that one outside. Now to Granger for a long two. His shot off the rim, no good. Rebound grab by Seville. Seville bringing it down, somehow held on to that ball. Looked like he lost it for a second, but it is GFC who comes away with it. The Deacons came down the court in a hurry and didn't appear to get really set. Ultimately seemed to lead to them losing the ball. Onstad working his way around Malish behind the back. That time able to find DeLorme, and now the shot for three is short from DeMuth. Jake Cava bringing it down court. At the top of the key, goes over to McKeever. In the corner, he finds Seville. Seville works his way around Granger and gets the two. Underneath the hoop now, inbounding is Johnson. Deacons coming with the press. He finds DeLorme, who goes right back to Johnson. Now over to Onstad. Onstad cutting down the middle of the court. Looking, gets that one over to Johnson. Johnson surveys, gets it over to DeLorme in the corner to DeMuth. DeMuth with the double team on him. In trouble. Throws one way over to Johnson. Just about had that one stolen, but he comes away with it. Now moving inside. Johnson fires the two. Did not get set, and it's short. 16 minutes even left on the clock. Timian driving down, and he's fouled underneath the basket.
Yeah, Jed, to start this half, it kind of went just back and forth scoreless possessions, and it was kind of looking like the same old like the first half, but the Deacons kind of got off to a little bit of a start here as Timian heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, strong start here for Shanley as Timian does not connect on the first. Like you said, though, both teams just kind of trading misses. Overall, just kind of sloppy play is the way to put it. And, not to knock them, it's just been a bit sloppier than we're used to from both squads in both the first half and the start to the second. I think as this game goes on, we'll see him settle down a bit, although, I do think we were expecting that maybe to happen in the first half, and it didn't. So we'll see what happens here. Both teams are doing a good job of making each other uncomfortable. It's a good matchup.
Yeah, most definitely, Jed. I think the teams kind of just need to get set, and I guess like you said, we both kind of thought they would get set towards the end of that first half, but hasn't quite happened yet.
Timian goes over to Seville, who goes right back to Timian at the top of the key. Now back to Seville, who's looking inside. He found Jake Cava inside to McKeever, who got blocked by Johnson, and the rebound pulled down by Devin Johnson. Excellent play on the defensive end there for Devin Johnson. Checks in at 6'4". He is the tallest player for GFC as Onstad launches a two that's in. Makes it a 4-point game. Timian up to Cava. Cava goes right back to Timian. Over to Seville on the far side, into the corner to Malish. Malish has 1-3 in this game, but that one is off the side of the backboard as now Onstad has a bounce pass up to DeMuth. DeMuth, though, with some big looping dribbles that time, had it taken away, and now Seville thought he might get called for the charge there. They will actually get a night. I think that was Onstad. Or scratch at Paul Granger.
Like we've been saying, Jed, Cam Seville back to the free throw line quite a few times tonight, and countless numbers on the season.
Yeah, for sure. Scored a lot of points off it here. Deacons, I don't think, have quite converted at the rate, though, they want to at the free throw line here tonight. They've had some struggles.
No, yeah, and they're normally quite a sound team from the line,
Absolutely.
to put it that way.
14:57 on the clock, 24-18 now as Seville drains both those free throws. Onstad moving this one up, finds DeMuth. DeMuth looking. Cava gets his arms in there. Now a bounce pass inside to Johnson. He spins around for two and sinks it. Timian up to Seville. Seville now cutting in. Worked his way into a double team, gets two and the foul. And that's just kind of been how Shanley's had to do it all night, you know. I mean, go to the line, occasional three-point play.
Right, yeah, it's just a little bit sloppy like
Yeah.
you said, Jed.
It's
No real set offense almost tonight, just kind of driving to the basket and getting to the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it does lead to points.
Oh, yeah, and obviously it's getting the job done somewhat.
So 27-20 now as Shanley has a fairly sizable lead, although they did have a 7-point lead earlier in the game that they that GFC was able to get right back in on and tie the game up. So no lead has been safe so far in this game. DeMuth has it in the far corner. Lost out of bounds, but I think they'll get the Deacons for a foul. It's Joe Cava picking up his first. GFC already has 3 fouls here in the second half. That's Shanley's first. Onstad to inbound, finds Johnson. Johnson for 3, hesitated. That one off the rim, no good. Rebound grabbed only briefly by DeMuth as Cava comes away with it. Cava, pass to Seville, who goes behind the back and gets the 2.
That was impressive, Jed. I am thoroughly impressed by that move by Cam Seville.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the move, it goes behind the back, although a nice answer there from Onstad. Not very flashy, but hey, 2 points is 2 points.
That is for sure.
Timian over to Cava on the near side, way out over to Seville. Cutting in, Cam Seville turns around for 2, no good. Hit the rim. He gets fouled underneath, though, and again, that is another foul on GFC. Make that number 4 for the second half.
And I believe that all 4 have been drawn by Cam Seville. So if there was a stat for how many fouls you draw, Cam Seville would most definitely be leading that one.
Absolutely, Max. So Seville on his first attempt, no good. Again, a 7-point lead here for the Deacons. Hey, folks, don't forget, this Saturday, January the 20th at noon and 2:30, it's the SCHEELS Shootout. We're going to be bringing some high school hockey to you. Our first game going to be Davies versus Fargo North. Second one will be South Shanley versus West Fargo Cheyenne. Folks, be sure to tune into that one. It is going to be a great afternoon of hockey. Again, that is January 20th, this Saturday at noon and 2:30. Great afternoon of hockey. Myself and Lucas Johnson on the call. Going to be a fun time. Be sure to catch that on Shanley TV, WDAY.com, and the Justice Network on statewide television. GFC looking to respond here after Seville went 1 for 2 on that trip to the line. Won't get any points out of that trip, though, as Jake Cava comes driving in. DeMuth tried to get the block there, but he was a half step behind, unable to connect with the ball. Now it's a 10-point lead for Shanley, as we got a whistle and a foul going against Shanley. Malish picks up his second there, as Tom Erie will now check in. He'll come in Cody Malish's place.
Yeah, Jed, Shanley's really been obviously trapping on the front court kind of, but Jacob Onstead has been quite good at using his speed to kind of get out of those traps and move the ball up the floor for the Grand Forks Central Knights this evening. Yeah,
Onstead has been really shifty back there. You know, from that guard position, it's really been the guards for GFC that have done a lot of heavy lifting. Onstad and, of course, DeLorme back there have been electric, really. They've been fun to watch, a large part of why GFC is in this game. Long pass finds its mark with DeMuth. He gives that one over to DeLorme. 3 finds its way in. Not the prettiest, but it doesn't matter. That's 3 points. He'll take that all day. Erie. Out top to Timian, now back to Erie, who goes right back to Timian. At the top of the key, he goes over to Seville. Seville back to Timian and now to Erie. Continuing in this pattern, finally, Timian going to bust it up with the inside pass to Cava. Jake Cava to Joe Cava, had that one blocked from behind. Loose ball, tipped out and grabbed by Timian, who goes over to Cava. Jake Cava, wide open 3, too strong though. Maybe a little too open as he put too much behind that one. And now Johnson way across over to Blackstone. Blackstone for two. He gets it. Excellent play. GFC thinking it maybe should have been a three-point play, and there was an argument to be made there. No foul called, though. However, they do come away with two. Seville to Timian inside to Cava. Cava looking for two. He does get it. So Jake Cava, the three-point game not going so much tonight, but he is doing well in the paint. Delorme up to DeMuth. And DeMuth is fouled, that time by Timian.
Yeah, Jed, it kind of looked like the Deacons were pulling away there. They had a 10-point lead at one point. I think it was 34-24, but right as we think they're pulling away, the Knights seem to kind of just drag themselves back into the game, brought it to within 5, and then Cava with that nice bucket there to take it to 7.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. GFC, it's a bend but don't break mentality. You know, they've let some big leads get on the board, but nothing that they can't manage, and they've done a good job keeping themselves in contention here. Delorme for three. Open look, no good off the rim. Cava pulls down the rebound. Cava finds Seville, too strong for him, though. Did a good job keeping it in bounds, but unfortunately for him, there were only Knights back there to grab it. Onstad moving in, gets that ball out to DeMuth. DeMuth for three off the rim. It won't go, and the rebound grabbed by Cava. Cam Seville on the near side, moving in. Wheels around, looking for two. He's blocked. Wanting the foul there maybe, but he won't get the call. DeMuth working against Hoffer, able to get that one out of trouble. Now Johnson for two, too strong. Blackstone got that one and unable to put it in for two. So it remains a 7-point game with 10:48 left. DeMuth inbounding. Gets that one right over to Delorme off the hands of Blackstone. Onstad has it, moving into the paint, looking for two, won't get it, and the rebound pulled down by Joe Cava. Jake Cava has it now for Shanley. At the top of the key, gives over to Seville. Seville, his first three-point attempt of the night is good. Cam Seville has really been doing it all for Shanley this evening.
Yeah, Jed, he's been a key part of the Deacon offense. So if him or Cava aren't playing well, one or the other steps up to play well, obviously, as we've seen. Absolutely.
As Blackstone will get two there. 37-29 now the score, 8-point lead for the Deacons. Hoffer over to Cava. Cava moves in, then goes right back to Seville. Three from the same spot. This time it doesn't connect, and Delorme gets the rebound, giving off over to DeMuth. DeMuth up to Blackstone. Cava right there in front of him. Got to do something with it. Gets it over to DeMuth. DeMuth for three. That's a long three, almost, but not quite. Cam Seville going to bring it forward now. Moving in, has it poked away, though, and Delorme comes away with it. Delorme over to Onstad. Onstad pulls up for two. Too strong off the rim, batted out. Seville there to grab it. Seville now will hand off to Cava, and the Deacons are going to slow things down. Jake Cava moving forward with it. To Erie. Now over to Seville at the top of the key. Cam Seville to Hoffer, right back to Seville, and now to Erie. Erie again back to Seville. He goes inside to Cava. Cava trying to gain separation. Great work, though, by Onstad to get the hands in there, and it's a jump ball. However, it will stay with the Deacons. Malish comes back into the game for Shanley. Granger and Johnson back in for Central, along with Thompson. Quick inbound to Seville, looking for two. Doesn't get the shot, but he does get the foul.
Yeah, that's one thing the Deacons have been good at this year, Jed, is their inbound plays underneath the basket. They always seem to get an open layup, it seems like. And then there we saw Cam Seville with a nice little jump step move and draws a foul, like we've been saying all night.
First attempt, though, is no good. It's too strong. Try number two for Seville is good.
Yeah, Cam Seville, great night tonight. He's most definitely over 10 points so far, so a good night for him, and he's been stepping up a lot lately.
Absolutely. Like you said, when Cava isn't scoring, it's Seville who picks up the slack and vice versa. As Seville pokes that one out of bounds, Devin Johnson with the heads-up play not to chase it. So Johnson will inbound. heaves one, finds Granger, who just has to toss it back. And that was good work by Shanley that time. They did not give Devin Johnson many options there.
No, that's been one thing the Central Knights have utilized, some really big switch passes cross court. That's one thing I've noticed tonight.
Not been super successful for him, as you can see there. That one just does not quite work out. And a nifty little pass there from Malish into Cava, although didn't really go anywhere as that ball finds its way to Seville, and that shot's no good. Blocked, rebound grab by Thompson. Thompson trying to get across half court, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson got that ball over to Lorenz. Going all the way back across to Thompson, pulls up for two. It's short off the rim, and Cava, you can see the frustration. He went for the rebound, and then it went out of bounds.
Yeah, like you said, Jed, maybe just a little bit of frustration on the Deacon end of things. They just can't really seem to get anything going.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of their night here, Max. It seems like they put it together, and then they just kind of revert back to the way things started. Just have not been able to really put anything solid together. Cava moving in for two. That should help as he gets that one and makes it an 11-point lead, their largest of the evening. Lorenz has it. Double team on him. Gives over to Johnson. Johnson gets that one up to Granger. Now Lorenz has it on the near side. Lorenz caught in the double team. Gets it over to Johnson. Johnson to DeLorme in the corner. Back to Johnson. It's tipped out of bounds, though, by Hoffer.
Yeah, Jed, the Deacons have done a really nice job of kind of cutting the passing lanes, getting fingers and hands all over the ball tonight, which has really just kind of stopped the passing for the Knights, and they've had to revert back to those huge switch passes, which have obviously been tough to complete.
And another long pass. I'm not sure what that was, although the Deacons do lose possession of it. An inbound pass was grabbed by Erie, but then Erie tried to find Bars on a quick pass that went out of bounds, and I don't think either team's super happy with how that series of events went.
I think Tom Erie might have reverted back to his football days as a cornerback there, kind of intercepting the pass.
Although you can see why he wasn't a quarterback
right.
as the pass went out of bounds. Sure. So, yeah, like I said, just both teams with kind of weird plays there. Ultimately, though, score remains the same, 40-29. Mason Timian comes in relief of Talon Hoffer now for Shanley. DeMuth inbounding. He finds Johnson, who goes across over to Onstad. Onstad with two men on him, goes right back to Johnson, pulls in a high pass. Now in the corner finds DeLorme over to Onstad. Onstad bounce pass to Johnson in the corner, gets DeMuth. DeMuth in trouble, heaves one. Onstad grabs it, moving in, bounce pass to... That won't go in the paint. It's kicked out and fired for three, and DeMuth unable to hit it. Erie, bounce pass intercepted by DeLorme. DeLorme now looking with the double team on him, and Erie just kicks it out of bounds.
No, Tom, we are not playing soccer. That was a good heads-up play by Tom to kind of cut the passing lanes like we were saying.
My thoughts exactly there, Max. Just puts it back out of bounds. I mean, that's what you're taught to do. I mean, that's better than just letting him get the pass off. As Blackstone's shot for two doesn't go, a Knight goes down, and now Bars has it for the Deacons as he gives off over to Erie. Tom Erie looking to create some separation, working against Onstad, goes over to Malish. Malish across to Bars and in the corner to Timian. Timian looking. Had Malish open and still give to Bars, who now goes to Malish, who goes right back to Bars. Bars now back to Malish, and Malish continues to look. Nothing open inside. Mason Timian has it. He goes back to Bars. Deacons got to break this chain right now. They're not doing much. Got to find some penetration. Just 7 seconds left. Malish cutting inside, looking for two. No good. Rebound grab by DeMuth. He gets it up to Onstad. It's stolen away by Cava, but a foul committed by Jake Cava. And I think Jake Cava is going to get a technical foul there. I might be mistaken, but you saw Cava there kind of throw the ball after the play, and I think he was just teed up. And that is. So that's going to count for two there for Jake Cava. He threw the ball, like I said, and that was enough to get him the technical. And, you know, there's some debate that can be made there, but you just kind of got to know, you got to give that ball right to the ref. You know, you can't, you know, maybe lose your cool for a second there, just kind of throw it.
Right.
And, you know, when you're a senior, you just kind of got to know at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound biased here, Jed, but it kind of looked to me that Cava was maybe looking for a ref because it didn't really look like he threw it out of anger, but maybe I guess I'm not in the mind of Jake Cava here, so who knows.
No, I know what you mean there,
Yeah.
Max. Like I said, it can really go either way. And, you know, I think going forward now, if something like that happened again, I don't think they'd call a second technical on him. I think when you call that first, now the standard gets a little higher.
Yeah.
But no, I think we all know what you're getting at there, Max.
Maybe just a little unlucky there for Cava, but
it got a little too close to, I think, technical territory, so you can see it both ways, as now a foul is called again on the Deacons. Meanwhile, 2 free throws converted there for Grand Forks Central off the technical. That makes it a 9-point game. And now, just like that, Jake Cava went from 0 to 3 fouls there with the technical and a shooting foul there.
You could definitely see the frustration on his face on that one.
Well, you know, fouls have been an issue for him the last few years, and he's done a really good job reining it in this year. So, you know, tonight, you know, just kind of unfortunate for him, something he's done a good job of getting rid of. And now a 3 for Tom Erie here makes it a 12-point game, an excellent response as the Deacons had really slid there with the foul trouble. Timian pokes that ball away from Johnson. Blackstone could not quite get it in, almost salvaged the play. 6 minutes left now as Cava drives in. Shot waved off, and a travel goes against the Deacons. And again, Cava not looking too pleased with that one.
No, he is not pleased at all, that's for sure.
And you know, Max, I get it, but with one technical already, you really got to be careful about your keeping your emotions in check out there.
Yeah, that's
I understand it. I really do. I mean, you know, there's an argument to be made for all those calls, but you gotta know at this point with one technical already, you know, you just kind of gotta suck it up. And Jake Cava knows that.
Right.
Malish grabs the rebound there, and now we got a whistle, and now maybe a foul going against GFC. And that does appear to be the case, so both teams really trading fouls now.
Yep, that is for sure plenty of fouls to be had. And then after the next Grand Forks foul, both teams will be in the 1-and-1 bonus. So that'll be free throws the rest of the night.
Free throws really been a key part of this game.
Seems like we've been talking about them the whole night.
Absolutely.
Vowed not to.
Both the ones made and the ones missed, because, I mean, that's kind of been the story for both these teams, especially Shanley. As now the Deacons cycle this ball around outside the three-point line. Erie and Timian going back and forth. Finally, Timian cuts it inside, gives over to Bars. His three-point shot in and out. Erie got the rebound, and he's fouled underneath the hoop. Close call, but they will get Onstad. That was close, but Onstad making a little too much contact there with Erie.
Yeah, more free throws, Jed.
Let's see what the Deacons can do with it now. Tom Erie at the line, his first shot, no good. A lot of those for the Deacons that are just, you know, just right there looking like they're going in, and then just out
in and out the whole night almost. And Campsville checks in for Jake Cava as he is visibly frustrated on the bench.
Campsville, good to have him in here for the Deacons. He's had an excellent evening. Erie gets the rebound there. Huge for Shanley there. They fight for that one, and Tom Erie picks it up off the ground. Be big for them if they could get some points here, up 12 already. Bars over to Timian. Timian now back to Bars out top. He gives over to Erie, who goes right back to Bars inside the Seville. Kicks out to Timian. Timian for three. Too strong off the backboard. Rebound pulled down by Johnson. Johnson moving up the near side. Over to Onstad. Onstad working along the baseline. Floats one for two. Didn't get it. Rebound grab by DeMuth. His shot for two. No good. Onstad somehow comes up with the rebound, though. Bars in on him. And Onstad makes a smart play. Gets it out of bounds off the foot of Bars.
Yeah, it just looked like Shanley couldn't really box out and get that rebound there. They gave up two quick offensive rebounds, but both teams have been kind of giving up some offensive rebounds as we've seen.
DeLorme has it now. Outside the arc. Bounce pass over to DeMuth. His shot just short. Rebound loose and pulled down by Seville, who gets it over to Timian. Timian now looking to bring this one forward. Moves in, throws it out to Bars. Bars surveys, just fires one for three. That's no good off the backboard, and DeMuth there to get the rebound. Johnson will bring it forward now for the Knights. Runs into Bars, and I think we'll have a foul going against Braden Bars.
Falls on number 2, Braden Bars.
That is his second of the evening, I believe. And as we're in the bonus here for both squads, Johnson will be at the line shooting 1-and-1.
Johnson at the free throw line.
And Joe Cava checks in for the Deacons.
Johnson's attempt is short. That's the second time he's left one short, and it's been unfortunate for GFC. They could really use those free throws. Huge when you're trailing here to get some an opportunity at points without running any time off the clock.
Right.
So the Deacons with the ball now, cycling outside the line. Looking content to just continue to burn time here. Bounce pass over to Cava. Cava out to Timian for 3, and he does get that one. Good for Timian on a bit of a cold streak here this evening.
Yeah, that's for sure. Maybe it'll spark a little bit of some shooting for the Deacons there. That was a nice three-pointer.
Johnson with a nice move, able to get around, and now a foul going against the Deacons. Mason Timian, fresh off the 3, will pick up his 3rd personal foul. So an unfortunate break there for him. Devin Johnson back at the line, and boy, he has really struggled here. Be huge for him if he could connect on one of these, as he shorts the first. And I think there may have been some confusion as to how many he was shooting. I think they thought he was going 1-and-1 there, but I think it was actually, I think they called a foul while he was shooting.
Yeah, that must have been what the case was.
So he is shooting 2 here. Second one is short as well, although he does get the rebound, and Johnson will get 2, so that makes up for it.
That does.
13-point lead now for the Deacons, 3:30 on the clock. Timian bringing it forward. Goes over to Seville. Seville back out top to Timian. Right back over to Seville. He looks inside, goes back to Timian at the top of the key. Now over to Erie, and right back to Timian inside. Bounce pass Malish. Malish goes down. Foul. And they'll get the Knights there on the foul. I'm not sure if I saw it. I think Malish might have tripped there. I'm not sure, though. Onstad might have gotten an arm in there, so tough to tell.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Onstad. That is his 4th foul, so he's going to definitely have to be careful, as he has been one of their key players tonight.
Yeah, he's been a huge impact for him in this game as Malish hits the first one. At this point, though, with 3:12 left, I have to imagine they'd be fine just leaving him in. I mean, if he fouls out, better that he does that, making a contribution than just sitting on the bench. Exactly. Malish, second attempt short. That rebound is loose and ends up in the arms of Timian. Jump ball called, and I think it should be Grand Forks ball here, and that is the case. Branson DeLorme will inbound here for the Knights. They trail by 14 with 3:09 on the clock. DeMuth has it on the far side. Holds up, loses control, and then it's picked up by Erie, trying to hand it off to Cava. Ended up going off the stomach of Joe Cava. Was loose for a second, and now Tom Erie has it. Erie over to Timian. Timian holds it for a minute, then gives over to Seville, who goes right back to Timian, and now kicks it over in the corner to Erie. Timian at the top of the key, right back to Erie in the corner to Malish, right back to Erie, and now to Timian out top once again. Mason Timian looked inside, bounce pass now, Erie back Timian, now Seville near side. Deacons continue to cycle, nothing open inside. Erie finally shoots the 3 to break the cycle and drains it.
Like I was saying, Jed, I think Mason Timian's three-pointer maybe 2 possessions ago did kind of spark a little bit of some three-point shooting for the Deacons as Tom Erie comes up with a nice pure three-pointer there.
Absolutely, as now Shanley will take GFC will take a timeout, full timeout called here. And once again, we'll take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at ShanleyAthleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join. So sign up today, the Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. And once again, folks, don't forget, January 20th, this Saturday, it's the SCHEELS Shootout, brought to you by Shanley TV. We got games at 12 and 2:30. First on the slate at 12, Davies versus North. And then at 2:30, it's South Shanley taking on West Fargo Cheyenne. 2 excellent games that will be brought to you by Shanley TV. Those games will be on ShanleyTV.com, WDAY.com, and the Justice Network, an affiliate of WDAY. That will be statewide TV on the Justice Network, so be sure to check that out. Going to be a lot of fun. Again, that is this Saturday at noon and 2:30, so join us for a fun afternoon of high school hockey.
Yeah, Jed, those are 4 evenly matched teams, so that should be 2 fun games to call.
Absolutely, Max. I'm very excited. Pass intercepted there by Timian, and not the start GFC wanted out of that timeout. Down 17 here, really needing the ball back if they want to do something, as Erie goes inside to Malish, and that ball is lost on the ground, still loose. Malish ended up with it. And a timeout called by Shanley. Smart timeout called there by Coach Burns.
Yeah, I think Coach Burns obviously just looking to keep possession there as Cody Malish was on the ground, and then what would have probably inevitably happened would the Central Knights would have tied him up and the jump ball would have happened. So that was smart by Coach Burns, and probably just telling him to calm down. They have a sizable lead right now, and probably just telling him to slow it down, take as much time off the clock as they can, just finish this game out.
Absolutely. And, you know, for Shanley having a 17-point lead here, I got to say it hasn't really felt like they've pulled away by that margin. The way GFC has played, it's really just been the last couple minutes that the Deacons have opened things up. GFC really got to hand it to him, kept this thing close, I mean, start to finish, really. Timian now with the ball on the inbound. Shanley again, just going to look to burn some clock here. Erie's got it, goes back to Timian out top, who goes right back to Erie. Tom Erie's had an excellent night from beyond the three-point line. As now Cam Seville tries his luck, unable to convert that time as DeLorme picks up the rebound. DeLorme wanted to go back that time to Thompson. Didn't have the angle, though, and so he's keeping it himself. DeLorme moving it up, does find Thompson. Thompson goes across to Onstad, now in the corner. He finds Johnson, whose three-point shot's in and out, but Blackstone puts the two-pointer in, and now we got a substitution here for Shanley as they're going to, I think, completely swap out their 5 men out there.
Yeah, Mason Timian will head to the line here before that substitution. So.
Oh, yeah. That's my bad, man.
That's all right. Just wanted to make sure you hadn't forgot about free throws, which has been a major part of this
yeah,
game.
how could I, Max? And so now the substitution does come for Shanley, as Timian is the only one who remains in right now, and he'll check out after these free throws. 15-point game, minute 30 on the clock. Timian's first attempt is good.
Our last substitution to Kaiser, Peterson, Warner, and Kuhneman into the Deacons.
Timian's second attempt, in and out. Rebound grabbed by Blackstone. Blackstone gives that one over to Onstad. And now Onstad bringing it forward. He gives over to DeLorme. Now along the baseline, it's Thompson who gets it over to Johnson. Johnson thinking about the three there. Instead cuts inside for two. Shot won't go. Gets his own rebound. He and Blackstone almost fighting each other for it. And now he is fouled in the paint.
Yeah, on that last rebound by Johnson, Jed, it kind of looked like him and Blackstone were kind of fighting for that. He ripped it out of his teammates' hands, but maybe just a little lack of communication there.
Yeah, Max, you know, sometimes you're fighting so hard for that rebound, you don't really know whose hands are on the ball. You're just,
right.
You know you want it in your hands.
Just instincts to pull it down and take it for yours.
Absolutely. Johnson no good on the first attempt, and that is really, you know, he's played a good game tonight, but the free throw line has just been brutal for him, although he is able to hit that one.
Right.
And, you know, I say that just because he is a great player, and so it's got to be frustrating, to not have a great night from the line. Other than that, though, I really think he's made his impact known throughout most of this game.
He has had a great game, like you said. So
especially defensively, using that height, the tallest player on that team. Shot for three from Peterson, no good, and the rebound pulled down by DeLorme. He gives over to Onstad, but we got a whistle, and it looks like Onstad stepped out of bounds. So now Clava will inbound. He gets it over to Kuhneman. Thompson that time came flying in, tried to go undetected and take it away. Didn't quite get there, though. Clava fires the three. It won't go, but Daniel Warner there for the putback. Onstad going to bring it up court now. 37 seconds on the clock. Tosses that one out to Thompson. Thompson thought about the three. Instead, went over to DeLorme with that one, lost it for a second. Now Onstad drains the three. Beauty of a three-pointer from long distance.
A deep three.
Yeah, that was just...
He was probably had his heels on the out-of-bounds line on that one.
Absolutely. Picturesque, too. I mean, that's the way you want to shoot them. So just 14 points separate these two teams. 14 seconds left on the clock. Kuhneman and Peterson cycling this one. Deacons just moving it around, going to let the clock run out. Caden Kuhneman just dribbling this one. And the Knights will let him do it as time expires in this game. And the final score, 53-39 in favor of the Shanley Deacons. Before we let you go, we do have some stats to bring to you. So the leading scorer for the Deacons, all said and done, was Cam Seville. Not a big surprise there.
Not at all.
Made his money at the free throw line, obviously, this evening. Finished with 19 points. Right behind him was Jake Cava with 14, and then Tom Erie with 6. I believe all 6 points came off three-pointers for Tom Erie. For GFC, Devin Johnson finished with 11, DeLorme finished with 8, and with 6 was Blackstone. And not a lot of surprises there. Johnson and DeLorme, 2 big impact players for GFC. And, Max, your final thoughts on this game? A well-fought game, I'd say, by both sides.
I would like to apologize, as I think, Jed, both you and I did predict a high-scoring affair, and we hadn't even broken the 20s by halftime, I think. So, I think it was more of a defensive battle, but as you said, just kind of a sloppy game. I don't think either team, could get their offenses running really well, but then on the other end, like I said, both good defenses, but just offenses couldn't really get sparking. Neither team could really run in transition like they wanted to, and we just saw a lot of free throws being made and also missed. But that's about it. It wasn't too much to it.
Absolutely. Right there, it's kind of the story of the game for both these teams. At the end of the day, though, it's 53-39 victory in favor of Shanley. They pick up the 2 points in this big 2-point conference game. So for tonight, for Max Bush and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 53, Grand Forks Central Knights 39. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.